When they got on that dance floor, man, something was happening that, you know, it's hard to even explain it after growing up in it and seeing it. But it was like a healing, you know? It was like more than the music, more than the dance. It was like something that was giving them hope to keep on going.
When I first moved here, luckily I had a connection to the music already with a couple of friends who, you know, would take me around to different music venues. At that time, there were a lot of old dance halls. And so I immediately fell in love with that part of like the culture, the role that dancing plays in it too. I mean, it's not just like an audience music, it's a very participatory music. My job at the time teaching elementary school was really challenging, so I really used like the music and, you know, weekend life as my kind of saving grace. And that probably made it all that more sweet to me because it was just such a joy. Once I finished up with the teaching thing and I could devote more time to just playing music, I met a lot of people, joined a couple of bands, and just got really immersed in the music culture. I continued to just love it more and more.
The music has taken on many, many different shapes and forms since it was first recorded in the 20s. But typically what we think of as Cajun music is someone with an accordion and various other instruments sung in French. You can go out every night of the week, any town around here. You can go out dancing, hearing Cajun bands, eating Cajun food. You're getting the Cajun experience. This has changed a lot. A lot of the Cajun music that you hear here is not all what's exported. There's a lot of other bands here that play Cajun music that evolved more in a straight line from the earliest version of Cajun music. Then there's a lot of people that have brought in these outside influences into Cajun music from other genres. But you got Cajun people speaking the language that we associate with Cajun. They're here in South Louisiana, they're using accordions, fiddles, guitars, triangles, and they're making the music that's in their hearts, and they're living the life.
I've worked my you-know-what off.
Yeah.
You know, we drive 50,000 miles a year, every year since '85, okay, playing this music. And we've traveled to 45 countries. And it's so much that happened that I never expected would ever happen. The first big thing that happened to me was the World's Fair in New Orleans in 1984. And that's where we went from playing dance halls to concerts. That's the first time we heard an applause, you know? From then on, that's the way I wanted to go with my music. I always felt that Zydeco music had the potential and was able, you know, to go beyond the dance and be a performance where people can just listen to it and dig what's happening. We do a show called Creole for Kids in the History of Zydeco, which is an educational performance, the first of its kind. Before The Princess and the Frog, they didn't really have the visuals. Now they have those visuals already in their mind, and when they hear the music, bam, it hit them, and they're into it, and they connected to it. The Louisiana Creole culture is a fusion, okay, of DNA from all over the world. When we're in front of an audience with kids who have Spanish background, Native American background, French, Italian, German, you know, African American, we all connected in that music, and they all have a piece of that music that connects to their culture. So they get it. It feels so good to be a part of that connection, making that connection with the kids, with our music, with our culture from Louisiana.
I think what makes our food so special is the combination of all these different cultures that came together in one area between New Orleans and Lafayette. So I think it's the combination of all these different food cultures that evolved into, you know, Cajun and Creole cuisine So I think it's all the combination of all of these different cultures and their food ingredients that we utilize to create this unique style of regional cooking in America that makes our food so unique and tasty. Chefs want to inject their philosophy and their creativity into whatever dish they're cooking. So you have these chefs that in town that are all doing their own creative interpretation, if you will, of our food, but they're staying true to the roots of it.
I would say that boudin is very significant in Louisiana, especially South Louisiana, around this Scott, Karen Crow area. Scott is the boudin capital of the world. We're all very well known for it over here. It has made its way all over the country. All of our travelers, I tell them it's like a jambalaya almost in a casing or a rice and gravy. Some actually have never heard of that. So I just describe almost kind of like a sausage, but it just has rice in it. And you eat it like that, you eat it out the casing. Started back late in the early 1800s, 1900s, whenever the Cajuns discovered it. They would take what was left of the hogs, the pigs, and after they slaughtered it, and they take the rice, whatever they had in their house, spices, herbs, all that, and mix it together, stick it in the casing because it's the pig intestine. So just shove it in there and eat it like that.
You know, I think we take for granted what's right around us. What we have here is so special. It's so unique. People here just value music. You know, other areas, they're not playing local music on the radio. You know, you can spend the whole day listening to a radio station, only Louisiana music.
Even if there wasn't anybody making new stuff in Cajun music these days, I would say that the future for Cajun music looks great. But the fact that there's all these people helping it to evolve now, and people from the younger generations that we're seeing come up playing songs from my generation, and these new things being transmitted and passed on, and new songs are entering this traditional repertoire, that's what you really want to see when you really want to know that something's going to live on for a long time.
It's looking better than it ever did in my 42 years, because you have more and more younger people picking up the accordion and playing the music and taking ownership of the music. We wanted to keep it alive, and that's how you keep it alive. You gotta make it relevant. If the music is not changing, it's dying.